It is. It's my son's favorite toy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey son, can I borrow? Did he charge you to borrow it?
No, I charge him. He actually charged it for me, thank goodness. He knows how to use it so well.
Yeah.
So I want to welcome you guys to our toxicity workshop here tonight. I just want to thank you guys for taking your time to be here. I know that a lot of people are freaking out right now with the social distancing, this and that. We're actually going to touch upon a little bit about that tonight because I feel like it's very important to address during this time. But tonight's really going to be focused on toxicity. So what I want to do, here's some of my goals for you tonight. I want to teach you what toxins are, what they do to our body, how to detoxify from them, and then some better options on what to use instead of maybe what we're using now. Because I know there's a lot of things out there that are safe and alternative and organic. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're good for you or that they work. I don't know if anybody's tried natural deodorant. That's a great example of stuff that doesn't usually work. I have found a couple brands that we've used in the past, using now, that are fantastic. So my wife and I, we brought a whole bunch of our stuff that we use at home that we know are clean, passed the test. We're going to give you some tools on how to figure this out for yourself. And this is my wife, Georgie, here. Turn around and say hi.
Hi, guys.
So towards the end, she's going to come up and talk about some other options for safer skincare, and then we're going to go into it. But the State of the Union right now, I mean, I wrote this before this whole craziness has happened. I don't want to go into that yet, but what I do want to talk about is the fact that over the past 30 years, some major issues have happened in the health of our children and ourselves, and we relate it to things that we shouldn't be, and we should be talking about toxicity when it comes to this. So just for example, asthma and allergies have tripled over the past 30 years. I mean, think about it. Everybody here knows a kid that has asthma, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody. That is not normal. That is not a normal thing, but it's become so prevalent that we've become to think that that is just a normal thing. Oh, he's got asthma, he gets ear infections, that's no big deal. It is a big deal, because we're not supposed to have these things. When everybody starts having these problems, we need to start looking, like maybe pull ourselves out of it and look at it from a bigger point of view and go, what are we doing wrong here? Obviously we're doing something wrong. Obesity in children has doubled, and in adolescents it has tripled over the past 30 years. I've been to my kids' elementary school. It is not good. These children, all they eat are toxic foods. All right, they're eating Lunchables. That's like the #1 thing that these kids eat. And I get it. It's easy. You take it out of the fridge, you put it in their brown bag, and there's their lunch. But what are you doing to that child? Toxifying them. And then you wonder why they're getting overweight and why they have autoimmune diseases and are not being able to heal, and they're always sick. There's a problem there. Autism. When I was a kid, a couple of years ago, there were very few autistic people, very few autistic children. In the 60s, it was never even heard of. I'm not that old, by the way. I'm just saying. In the 80s, it was 1 in 10,000. Now it's 1 in 59. What in the world? Obviously, we're doing something wrong. Yet, our doctors in the medical community keep telling us to keep doing what we're doing. In fact, we need to do more of it. Why the heck would we do more of something that's not working? We have to do something different. We want different results. I'm not okay with this. 8 million children are on psychotropic medications right now. 8 million children. I've had kids come in here on Prozac, and they're 14 years old. I'm like, what in the freaking world are people thinking that that's the right answer? Because they're going to the wrong type of doctor. They're going to the medical doctor. If you do not think medication is the answer, why are we going to medical doctors? Because that will be their answer. They're either going to give you a medication or they're going to cut it out, right? Those are their two tools. And I get it. There is a time and place for those certain things. But when it comes to preventing disease and being healthy, that is not the place to go. We have to look at different avenues, and that's what we provide here with the Max Living Office. It's all about living a healthier lifestyle. Especially in these times, if we just do all the things I've been telling you all to do, we'd all be healthy. And you guys are here right now, which is good, which means we're healthy, right? People were asking me, what am I doing different in my regimen? I'm like, nothing really. Because I'm already doing all the things I tell you to do, and I'm doing the things, and therefore I'm not going to get sick because I'm doing all the things my body needs to be healthy. I say this all the time. If my patients knew what I knew, they'd all be here getting adjusted on a regular basis. They'd all be eating well. They'd all be exercising. Because I know for a fact if we do all those things that I teach, you will be the healthiest person you know. And right now, people are scared because they are thinking that we need to do this and this and this, or just social distancing. I've been hearing that a lot today. I'm like, I understand that, and if that's your comfort level, fine. But to miss your adjustment is the most, how do I want to say this nicely? It's probably the dumbest thing you could do right now, not as nice as I could be. Because we're going to talk about that again here tonight, about how boosting your immune system is what we need to be doing. We need to be focused on how can we be stronger, not distance ourselves from everything because we're afraid of a disease or a virus that's not really that bad. What can we do to bolster our immune system? Okay? Right now, the statistics for cancer, 1 in 3 women and 1 in 2 men will be diagnosed with cancer sometime in their lifetime. Do you think this is normal? No. 50 years ago, this was not the statistic. 100 years ago, this was not the statistic. It's getting worse and worse and worse because of how we live our lives. We can't continue on the same path as everybody else if you don't want these results to be you. So we think about our toxic story. A lot of us are like, well, I already avoid toxins, I'm minimizing exposure to toxins, but the fact of the matter is many people are not. They just don't know that the things that they're doing are actually toxic. I mean, think about it. We wake up in the morning, what do? We go to take a shower. What are you washing your hair with? What are you cleaning your body with? What are you putting under your armpits? What are you brushing your teeth with? Now, for women, the average American woman is exposed to over 208 chemicals before they leave their morning routine. Because you guys do the toner and the cleanser and the moisturizer. I know all these things. The makeup, we do all the makeup. Now, men, we got about 6 or 7 chemicals we're exposed to. Yes, because we brush our teeth, put on deodorant, and that's about it. Maybe. Now, my wife has me doing other things right now, so she gave me a face. She's like, you're doing more than that.
More than 7.
Well, she told me that I should be doing these things. So, but then we leave our house. What are we eating for breakfast? Are we eating? You can scoot that over so you're not getting it. Are we just drinking, pesticide-laden coffee? Is that what we're doing for breakfast? Are we eating inorganic eggs? Jimmy Dean sausage full of toxins? And then we're going to our work, sitting all day, which is awful for our bodies. Grabbing something quick to eat, full of toxins. They probably cleaned your place with toxic chemicals. And something I've been hearing a lot lately is, if you're using toxic chemicals to wipe your surface down, do you know you're supposed to spray with water after and get the toxins off? I didn't know that either. I feel like I look stupid not knowing that. But what? Let's spray bleach on everything or whatever we're going to do, Lysol. But now the chemicals have killed everything, but now the chemicals are still there. So now we have to wipe it down with water to get the toxins off. And nobody does that. I don't do that because I never thought to. And I'm like, that just makes so much sense. Why aren't we doing that? Now, if you're using less chemical stuff, more natural like vinegar and water, you're good. Okay, but if you're using Lysol, Clorox, all these things, you got to get the toxins off. What about, so you go to work and it smells really good in there. What are they using to make it smell so good? Glade plugins, right? Air freshener. Yeah, what is that? That's fragrance, and fragrance is 100% a toxin. What were you going to say?
When Lee's dance competition, remember we found
Oh, this is great.
Yeah.
So we were down at my daughter's dance competition a couple weeks ago, and it was down at the Sheridan downtown. And there's this huge dance competition. Kids are everywhere having a good old time dancing. And we go down this hallway for her, and I'm like, oh my God, the smell in here is so overpowering of fragrance. And I'm like, because I know for a fact that a lot of these hotels pump out fragrance, and different brands have different scents because they know that you'll remember them.
Yeah.
It's psychological, right? And I smell, and I look up, and there's this huge machine pumping out fragrance. You hear it. If you get closer, it's...
Yeah.
And there's a plug down into the wall. So Tori's like, I'm unplugging that damn thing. She walks up to it, and she puts her bag down, and she's doing one of these. Anybody looking? Walked away. And I'll tell you, within 30 minutes, I didn't smell anything anymore.
So much better.
And for the rest of that weekend, it no longer smelled bad in there. That was awesome. Hey, if we're going to make the change, we got to be the one to make the change, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So again, just going through some other things. Yeah, the makeup, the soap, dry cleaning. I mean, pesticides. How about pesticides? So they come and spray your yard so it looks good. I got out of my car the other day, and my neighbors just had it sprayed. I'm like, oh my God, that I'm smelling toxins.
Yeah.
And then you're going to walk on it. And then you're going to walk through your house with your shoes on. And you wonder why there's toxins everywhere. So one of the best things you could do right now, starting a rule, when you walk in your house, take off your shoes. My kids don't think that their shoes are dirty. They go to public restrooms. I'm like, I watch you step and pee. Like, yeah. Do not walk through my house with those shoes on. Oh, they're like, oh no, it's fine. I'm like, it's dry. I'm like, yeah, it's gross. No. So
They know not to.
yeah, they know not to, but hey, it's a boys' bathroom. You've never been. He's everywhere. He's everywhere. So the unfortunate thing is the world has become toxic. It is absolutely, we are unable to avoid toxins. We are sick as Earth. Our Earth is sick. So yeah, where would you have to live if you wanted to avoid toxins? I've heard a bubble, but what's the bubble made of?
Plastic.
So we can't avoid it there. I've heard the North Pole or the South Pole. The problem here is that they have actually done blood tests of polar bears in the Arctic Circle, and they found PBDE in their bloodstream, which is flame retardant. So the unfortunate thing is it is everywhere. So I can't ask you or ask anybody to avoid toxins. I can only teach you how to minimize your exposure through education. The more you know, the healthier you can be. The better choices you're going to make. That's really what it comes down to. Do we think that the FDA cares about us? Do you think our government cares about us? The answer is no. In fact, I have a video to show you just about how much they don't care. Let's hope this.
I want to ask some questions of you, and a simple yes or no is fine. The FDA's authority over the safety of baby lotion. First, can the FDA require a review of baby lotion for safety before it comes to market?
No, we cannot.
Can the FDA require the manufacturer not to use a toxic ingredient, for example, formaldehyde, in its baby lotion?
No.
Is the manufacturer required to register with the FDA before selling its baby lotion?
No.
So I think my first statement is becoming truer. Once the baby lotion comes to market, can the FDA require safety information about the baby lotion?
No.
If the baby lotion has caused bad reactions in the babies, can the FDA require a recall?
No.
If the manufacturer is aware of the baby's bad reactions, would the manufacturer be required to report that to the FDA?
No.
Well, I think everybody's paying rapt attention here.
And that's current. That's from a meeting that took place in Congress in December of last year.
Is that not
If people
disturbing?
don't realize that that's how little authority the FDA has.
They have none.
Yeah.
And they have no care in the world.
The laws
Basically, what
are-
I read that we are an experimental society. What that means is they will send things to market and try it out on us. And if there's enough reactions, then they might think about recalling it. But at the same point, they cannot mandate a recall. It's only voluntary.
Yes.
Voluntary. So again, this is why we need to learn this stuff ourselves. Because if we are not going to do it ourselves, they are not going to do it for us. We are just going to become toxified and sick. Is it disturbing? Yes.
And when she was asking about specific baby lotion, the answer is the same no matter what they're talking about. They just use baby lotion as an example. Whether
Yeah.
it's a shampoo, anything,
matter.
it's the same.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
All right, so I have a little bit of trivia for you guys. Person who gets closest without going over wins. When was the last year that a law was passed regulating personal care products in the United States? Go ahead.
72?
Okay. Go ahead. No, you're not allowed. All right, just start saying them.
68.
68. Everybody's got to answer. You're not going to get it, but it's okay.
I would go back further.
What do you think?
Sometime in the 50s.
Okay. April, what do you think?
She's whispering in my ear.
Oh, cheater.
Yeah. I was gonna say 1970.
Okay, Shona?
Ingredients used in.
I agree with that.
50s, what do you think?
40s.
40s?
She's
Was
close.
there ever one?
Ooh, that's a good answer too. Steve, what do you think?
I said 68.
So that's right, you did say 68. Celeste? Do you know?
Yeah.
1938 was the last time a law from the United States government was passed regulating personal care safety. Pretty bad, huh? So there are 2 pages of legislation that are governing a how many $1 billion industry? $1 Many
It's like
billion.
89 billion in the US, but it's like 500 and something billion worldwide.
Yeah, $90 billion industry is being governed by 1.5 pages of law. 12,500 chemicals are commonly found in personal care products, and only 20% of those even have safety data on it at all. The rest of it, they have no clue. So they put it in there anyway because there's no safety study. Again, they're going to test it out on you guys. And the FDA has very little power over any of this. Crazy, right? All right, next trivia question. How many ingredients has the United States banned since 1938 for personal care safety?
Over 12,000.
12,000? Okay.
Over.
Okay. Let's go through.
You said the U.S.?
Yes, the United States.
12.
12.
Give us all a 2.
2.
I was gonna say 10.
10.
Yeah.
I'll say 15.
15.
I was gonna say 15.
15. You're not allowed.
I don't know.
He's not allowed either because I'm sure you've already
I
whispered
didn't
it.
tell him. I didn't say anything this time. I kept my
Alright.
mouth shut.
You-
Did you guess?
There was
You
no
guess?
whispering.
There was whispering. How many?
30.
I didn't whisper, I swear.
The answer is 30.
Oh, wow.
So you're either really lucky or you're sitting next to a cheater.
No, I really didn't say anything.
Well then Cody, congratulations.
Good job, Cody, yeah.
So what I'm giving you guys are things from Norwex. Norwex are some of the cleaning products that I like to use because you don't even need any solution, any cleaner to use those because it has it's microfiber, but also has silver woven into it, which is antibacterial, antiviral. So you just spray it down with water, you wipe it up, and now there's been things to show that you can put raw poultry down on your granite, spray it with water, wipe it up, and there's nothing left after that. So if you would like more information, Celeste up here, she is a rep for Norwex. We did bring some of our favorite things from Norwex here. Cody, you got the, I forget what they're called.
I think he got the
EnviroCloth, which is
the
basically
Enviro.
all over cleaning,
shit,
and you got the
polishing.
polishing one, which is good for windows.
Windows, yeah.
Yeah.
Glass, mirrors.
So you spray it with water, and then that, you don't need any chloride, or whatever it's called.
Windex,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep. So here you go. Third, so the European Union has actually banned, they moved it up, didn't they? Or it's just
No, it's.
So 1,400 are banned in the European Union. 600 in Canada and the United States, a whopping 30 ingredients.
And that number
America
just
does
changed.
way more.
2 years ago it was 11. So
Yeah,
whoever gets
yes.
like 11 or 10 was.
Yeah, so she
close.
said 2 years ago that number was only 11.
Yeah, it just, yeah, it's recent.
Is that not ridiculous? Again, we can't trust the government to protect us. We need to protect ourselves. Because when we are taking in tons and tons of toxins, right, it is doing damage to our body. Our body has detoxifying organs, like the liver, the kidneys, okay, our skin. Those are ways that our body is meant to detoxify, but we have what's called the bucket principle, where you're taking in dust and food and mold and pollen and then other toxins, and our body has a threshold that it can, detoxify from your body at a certain rate. But if we go over that, it's called the bucket spilling over. And when you start to spill the bucket, it becomes uncontained, and you start to have sneezing and wheezing and itching and all these other immune problems because we're toxified. Skin issues are a big sign of toxicity. Digestive issues are a big sign of toxicity. Brain issues, like poor memory, those are signs of toxicity. So one thing I always recommend my patients do, besides start minimizing their exposure to it, but it's good every once in a while to do a detox. And we have a detox here in this office. It's called our detox system. It's very gentle. It's not a cleanse. Everybody thinks detox means go to the bathroom a lot. And there's not very much toilet paper around, so we don't want to do that. This is a detox system. It's very gentle. There's 2 bottles in here. One is your cell detox and one is your body detox. It works together. So this is a cellular detox. This stuff in the morning actually goes and basically scrubs your cells clean. And then when the toxins are pulled out, it goes into, you take the body detox at night, and it binds all of the toxins to activated charcoal and magnesium, those sulfur-containing units, to actually help usher it out of your body gently again. You're not going to be running to the bathroom, but you can do this. Technically, you can do this all the time, constantly. I like to do it probably 3 to 4 times a year for a month. We typically do that when we are kind of detoxifying, eating better. We already eat well, but every once in a while we can get off track. So we clean up our diet for 30 days, and try to do this 30 days, stints, and then do the detox at that same time to help just clean everything out. Okay, so that is something that you could do. So what are some of the major issues with these toxins? They are called xenoestrogens. Now, a xenoestrogen is a chemical that mimics estrogen when it comes into the body. So we have cells that have estrogen receptors, men and women. Okay, typically in the women, it's breast tissue, it's ovarian tissue, it's uterine tissue. Okay, and we have these estrogen receptors, and here's estrogen. It comes in, sits in the receptor, and activates that cell to do what estrogen would have that cell do. When you're consuming xenoestrogens, look what happens. It's not estrogen, but it fits right in there just like estrogen did, and it's going to mimic estrogen. Yes?
So would soy fall under that category?
Yes. Soy is one of the xenoestrogens. They mimic estrogen. So these are things that we really need to pay attention to and minimize our exposure to, because this is why breast cancer, uterine cancer, people are having endometriosis, all these major things with women especially, and thyroid issues. These are all from these toxins, and we are getting it everywhere. Again, go back to that for a couple of slides we did at the beginning of what are you putting on your body? What are you washing your body with? What are you washing your dishes with? What are you spraying your house to make it smell good and clean it? All right?
What are you drinking out of?
What are you drinking out of?
Plastic.
Yeah. So here are some major sources of xenoestrogens. So a big one is plastic. If you are eating out of any plastic that's hot, that's a major problem. So water bottles, if you're going to heat anything up, should never be plastic. All right? If you're reusing and reusing plastic water bottles, that's a major issue. We should not be doing that. We should be using glass or aluminum or steel. I know you got yours. TJ Maxx, $8, and they stay cold. You don't need to buy the $40 Yeti. $8 at TJ Maxx. Okay, but you can find this just about in anything. All the sprays. I mean, it's in everything that we talked about here. All those personal care products. So let's go through a couple xenoestrogens that are very important that you know of, so you can actually start picking things up at the store, reading the labels, and going, that's a xenoestrogen, I don't want that in my body, let's find one that does not have that. So we're going to go through a couple very important ones. One is sodium lauryl sulfate. Just to confuse you, they also call it sodium laureth sulfate. They're the same. And they are both xenoestrogens, endocrine disruptors. They are going to change the way your body responds. Okay? Unfortunately, it's in just about every soap, degreaser, shampoo, conditioner, anything that's going to clean your house, anything that foams and suds, typically, SLS is in it. It's in your toothpaste. It's in everything. The good news is you can find stuff without, but it is in lots and lots of things. If you go home tonight and start looking at your stuff, you're going to be upset because it's probably in all the things. That's how prevalent it is. So it causes heart, liver, lung, brain damage. I mean, so this is interesting. Sodium lauryl sulfate, the Journal of American College of Toxicology found that SLS causes heart, liver, lung, and brain damage. The Journal of the American College of Toxicology already posted this. Then why are they still using it? Go back to that video. They don't care. Does it clean your hair? Yep, they did their job. Is it making you healthier? Nope, they don't care. It's doing its job. You bought something to clean your house. Does it clean your house? Yep, then it's done. Is it killing your kids? Well, I don't know. They don't care. And if it does, guess what? They're not responsible. Not cool. Diethanolamine, DEA. That's a mouthful. That's why we call it DEA. DEA is in a lot of personal care products, bubble baths, laundry and washing detergents. And again, DEA, by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, has been found to cause cancer. Yet, it's in all your stuff. It's in all your stuff. So DEA is something we need to watch out for. And the unfortunate thing is DEA is a lot easier to say than diethanolamine, but it'll be spelled out most likely in your stuff. So you have to know what that actually looks like. Propylene glycol, also known as antifreeze. It is the #1 constituent of antifreeze. Yet, they put it in everything. It's in your toothpaste, it's in your deodorant, It's in your shampoo and conditioner. I mean, it's in everything. I mean, would you ever brush your teeth with hydraulic fluid? I would say, I hope not, but you are. Again, we need, did we bring, oh, we did, okay. So again, it's a degreaser, it's found in lotions. Again, it causes kidney and liver damage, abnormal skin growth, damaged cell membranes. No big deal. Yeah. What's that?
And then vaccines.
Oh yeah, vaccines. All this stuff is in vaccines, of course. Why wouldn't you need a degreaser in a vaccination? There's detergent in your vaccinations. Again, this is why I don't vaccinate. I have a big problem plugging crap into my kid's arm when it bypasses the normal pathways of how you get viruses and bacteria. Yes, ma'am.
Is there a place you can go where you can get the list of ingredients that are in a vaccine?
You mean like, you mean like here? That means I have.
Well, I mean, seriously, like,
Yeah.
I want to know.
I actually asked for the pamphlet at the doctor's office, like the actual insert
So,
in
yeah.
the bottle.
Yep.
They'll give, yeah.
They have to.
That's a good
They
idea.
won't want to.
They don't
but-
want to.
That's a good
But you
idea.
But they
can
will do it if you push
So they
it.
have to give
Yeah.
it to you. I have a cool little sheet that has the most common ingredients and what they do and why they're used, which there's no real good reason. Polysorbate 80, polysorbate 60, formaldehyde, mercury, they're
It's
all
probably just
there.
preservatives.
That's all they're there
Yeah.
for. So their stuff doesn't go bad. Meanwhile, what's it doing to the children?
Yeah.
I mean, again,
And that's why it's in it, is because it's a preservative.
that's it.
So it can sit on
That's it.
Sit on a shelf, yeah.
Sit on a shelf. Again, look at, that's a major source of toxins. And we've gone from 6 doses of vaccines from when I was a child to 64 before the age of 6. And they're constantly making new ones. I mean, guys, seriously, are we afraid of the chicken pox? Why the hell are we doing chicken pox vaccinations? And nobody's scared of it until they come out with a vaccination for it. Measles, which is nothing anybody was scared of until they came out with the vaccination. All of a sudden, it's the big bad, bear. We need to. Oh my gosh, we can't get that. We can't get that. Mumps. Oh my God, no. But my parents had mumps and measles and
Yeah,
rubella.
mine did too, and they're fine.
They're fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, we start to play into media frenzies and believing this BS. That's what's going to happen.
Oh,
We're going to get scared, and then we don't make good decisions when we're fearful. So the next group of chemicals are called phthalates. Just don't say it properly. There's no pH, just phthalates.
Thank you.
Yes. So these are plasticizers. They're potent thyroid disruptors, and they sometimes can be hard to find because there will be words like methyl phthalate, paraben's a bad one. Methylparabens, that's another bad thing. We don't want parabens, we don't want phthalates. You have to read the whole word. It's not going to just say phthalate. Phthalate's going to be a part of a bigger word. Same with parabens. Parabens are very bad for us as well. It's not going to say paraben, it's going to say methyl, iso, whatever, paraben. So if you see anything that says paraben, phthalate, DEA, SLS, these are things we do not want. They are severely toxic to our body. The unfortunate thing is, this industry has a way of around telling you actually what's in their stuff by labeling something with the word fragrance. You would think fragrance is just a little bit of whatever to make things smell better, but they could put whatever they want in their proprietary formula and they don't have to tell you what it is. Anything.
It's a trade secret.
It's their
That's it.
trade secret.
Yeah.
They don't have to actually tell you what it is. They
Yeah.
can hide anything they want in there,
I don't know what it-
which is why we try to avoid anything that says fragrance. Does that mean you have to give up smelling good? No. It just means we need to find better versions of these things. Okay? So some of the better alternatives. One of the things I really like doing is looking for better brands, not better products. Because one of the mottos I live by is how you do one thing is how you do everything. So if you're constantly cutting corners in this, you're going to cut corners in this. Whether that's your daily life or a company and what they stand for. So I have, in the past, we focused on products. And it was very difficult because this brand had this good product, but the rest of their stuff was crap. And then this one, this really worked well, but the rest of their stuff was kind of shaky and kind of not so good. So it was like, who do you trust? And then at any point, they can change their ingredients and not say a word, and so you're constantly having to look. I find it a lot easier to find brands that stand for something bigger and better, and trust that the brand is doing what they want to do, what they stand for. Like Beauty Counter is a personal care products brand that stands behind their stuff because their number one goal is to get safer products in the hands of everyone. That's their number one goal. Second would be performance. They want their stuff not only to be healthy for you, but they also want it to work. Just like Max Living. Our products, I feel, are the best ones on the planet because I know that our stuff is clean. We only want the best for our patients, and our stuff actually works. We've been third-party tested before, after of making it. We know that our stuff actually works, and I have too many people going next door buying stuff that is not good. Vitamin D, they're like, hey, I'm taking vitamin D, but I'm only taking this much. What brand? They don't even know the brand. Then they bring it in, and I say, these are the reasons why you shouldn't take this anymore. There's soybean oil, there's other stuff in there. Again, they don't know. If you don't know to read the labels of your products and your supplements, you're doing yourself a disservice. The good news is, with the brand that we have, we've already done the research for you. It makes life a lot easier when you can just say, I trust it because I know that they're doing the right thing. Unfortunately, that's very difficult to find in brands because what's people's number one reason for making these things? Money, right? They want to make as much money as possible. Now, these companies all make money, but if their number one goal is to help people first and make money second, huge difference. Huge difference. Isn't that what a B corporation is?
Yeah, people, profit, and planet.
Yeah, people first, profit second, planet third. That's what B corporations are. So those are the companies I typically like to look for. Again, if I find I have too many people that come to me, what do you think of Isogenics? What do you think of this brand? What do you think of this brand? And all I got to do is look at 3 or 4 different products because those are my standards. And I look at them if I'm like, well, this doesn't pass my test, therefore I'm done. If one product in a brand does not pass my test, I'm done. Because again, how you do one thing is how you're going to do everything. Make sense? Okay. So there is something I would like to share with you as a resource. Have you guys all heard of EWG, the Environmental Working Group? Yep, if you haven't, I would write this down, ewg.org. This is a fantastic nonprofit database online that you can actually plug in your products and it'll give you a rating on a score of 1 to 10 about how toxic your things that you're using are.
They have an app.
They have an app now too,
Yep.
Skin Deep app. They have a bunch of different things. They can look at food. They can look at personal care products. So we like our things to be 3s and below if we can help it. Anything that pops up as a 10, we try to avoid that obviously, but most of the stuff we want are in the green. Yellow is questionable, red is absolutely no way in heck would I put that on my body. Okay, so that's a great free resource. There's an app as well, like the girl said. Georgie, I think I'm going to have you come on up and take it from here for the next few minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Switch seats.
Yeah, I'll switch seats.
Okay.
Sit next to us.
Okay, so talking about putting all these products on your body. So our skin is our largest organ, right? So whatever we put on our skin gets absorbed directly into our bloodstream. So it's equally as important as what we're putting in our body. But a lot of times people don't think about that, you know? They think about what you're putting on, oh, my skin's thick, or there's a barrier or whatnot, but not really. It only takes 26 seconds to be absorbed right into the bloodstream. And with your lips, I think it's only like 14 seconds. So you have to be very cautious about what, now I just remembered I forgot sunscreen. I meant to bring that.
We haven't seen the sun in ages.
I got that.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
think about all these things, like, you know, Dan was talking about earlier, just, you know, everything that comes in contact with the body, the shampoo, the toothpaste, the whatnot, everything is getting absorbed, right? So it's important.
Especially shampoo, you're having hot water hit your head, opening up your pores.
Pores, yeah.
That stuff's going right into your fatty tissue right by your brain.
Right, yeah.
I want that stuff to be very clean at all times.
Yeah.
So we got to think
Because
about
a lot
that.
of people think, oh, but it just washes right off. But still, like you
It
just
goes
said,
in.
oh, there you go. You're right, you're opening up your pores, and it's enough to get in there. Yeah. Okay. So, as we mentioned, Beauty Counter is a company that we stand behind. So, several years ago, when I discovered that the makeup I was using was highly toxic, I kind of knew that was like one of the last areas that I knew I needed to make changes in. And so I was getting my makeup done by a professional makeup artist, and I started asking her questions, and I found out that the brand I was using was originally designed for short-term use, but it went mainstream and got super popular, but it was highly toxic. So I said, okay, I'm going to stop right here and I'm going to research and see what I can find. So through a patient, actually here, we discovered this brand called Beauty Counter. And so, as we said, their mission is to get safer products into the hands of everyone. Now, as our CEO says all the time, it's not about getting Beauty Counter into people's hands, it's just safer products, because we're a mission-based company, and our number one goal is education. So we spend our time going out and doing kind of like what we're doing now and educating people on the importance of using safe products, and then resources to find them and so forth. So one of the really cool things about Beauty Counter, so as we talked about the amount of ingredients that are banned, let's say in the US and then in the EU. So the EU had the highest, right, with 1,400. So Beauty Counter actually bans 1,800 ingredients, and that number just jumped. We were originally at 1,500 when the company started 7 years ago, and now we're 1,800. And that's because we're finding chemicals that either one, we know actually cause harm and we know exactly what they're doing to the body, or two, there's not enough safety data. So we go with the motto of you'd rather be safe than sorry. So if it's questionable and we don't have the data, we're not even going to put it in a product. We're not going to go there until the testing is done. And the 1,800 is not just from like the skincare products or the body. I mean, we cover the gamut, kids to or babies to adults, men and women, everything. That 1,800 applies to the entire line. I have never met a company that has that type of safety standard. And I've researched lots of them. Because like he said, one product can check out clean in a company, especially if they lend themselves to be a safer brand, but then something else in their line doesn't check out. So then, where's the trust and the transparency there, right? And what we're trying to do. So what this is a shortened, very, very shortened list of the 1,800, but some of the most common found ingredients in personal care that are super toxic. So I actually have this list on the back of my business cards because I tell people when you're out shopping, look for these. These are red flags. If you see these on labels, you should put the product back. Okay, so just to give you a little bit more idea. So I used the product with Beauty Counter probably about a year or so, and I was testing all the things, making sure I liked it, doing all my research. And I'm one that does a ton of research, and I'm not going to talk about anything, I'm not going to share anything until it's passed all my tests and everything looks good and clean. Well, when I discovered that the company was more than just a company selling a product, and that there was an opportunity to be a force for change, be a voice, and go out there and advocate and share this information, then that's when I joined Beauty Counter as a safer beauty advocate. So that's part of what I do, is go out there and do things like this where I'm sharing this information. So, like as we said, education's number one. We formulate products that are not only safe but high performing, because that's what people want. You can't create a product that's just going to slide off your face or not work, then nobody wants it, right? So you got to find that good in between. But the other piece is that one of my favorite things is that we advocate for legislative change. So as you saw with our weak laws, the 1938, so there are acts out there that we are trying to get passed. What part of what I get to do is go out to our local government and have meetings that we set up to encourage and ask for their support in supporting more health beauty laws that are more protective. So I'm going to share something interesting with y'all here in a second that's going to give you an option to share your voice as well. Now, what's really cool about this brand is not only we're a direct-to-retail brand, so we're sold through multiple channels. Any way that possible that we can reach the consumer. We have brick-and-mortar stores. We have like a store in New York and Denver and LA. We have pop-up shops that are usually in the summertime. We'll have them in Nantucket. But we've been in Target before. We have we're on Goop Goop's website. That's Gwyneth Paltrow's website. And of course, we're online, but we are sold through the power of people. That's another way, the consultants like me, because it's all about the education. People need to be told this information. They need to understand why they need to be looking for safer products, right? If we were sold in a department store and there was nobody sharing this information, it would be completely worthless, right? Okay. And then, as he mentioned, we're a B Corporation. Only 2,600 companies worldwide have this designation, and it's treating people, planet, and profit equally. B stands for benefit. So the amount of rigorous standards we are set to follow are extremely difficult to get this designation, so we have to re-up it every year. But all of it involves transparency, sourcing responsibly. You know, that's a big thing. Making sure that the products we're using, the materials that they're in, you know, whatever it is, the plastics, whatever, that the stuff is not leaching through into the product, that we're not cutting down, you know, rainforests and trees, all these things, right? So it goes beyond just the product. And of course, 80% of our ingredients are natural or plant-based. So here's something really cool. So if y'all would write this down, so we have part of our advocacy work, we have a text campaign, and we tell people if they will text the word Better Beauty to 52886, it will send you directly to a link, and if you click on that link, it will give you an email that's already written for you, and it will connect you to your local congressman. You just fill in your information and hit the button. It takes literally all of 30 seconds, and then emails will go out to all your local congressmen asking for their support in safer beauty laws. If enough people ask, if enough people are demanding, saying we deserve better, that this isn't right, hopefully things will start to change. So we all have an option. So I tell everybody, please, if this is something that's important to you, send that text, you know?
Georgie,
Yes.
are you familiar with?
So what I want to do now is I want to get back into what's going on outside of this office, the craziness, the unprecedented, whatever is going on out there, the toilet paper shortage, all these things, right? I just want to talk to you about, this is a little bit what we talked about in our immune system building workshop we had a few months ago, but I think it's very pertinent that you guys are hearing this now again and understanding where we're coming from when we talk about the germ theory, and that there is nothing more prevalent in the germ theory as COVID-19. It's a germ, it's spreading across the world, and it's going to kill everybody. Okay, no, that's not going to happen, right? But if you live in fear of germs, you are going to decrease your immune system through the stress response. Okay, Louis Pasteur, he is the father of the germ theory. And what his theory was, again, germ theory, was that there's little invisible germs that go in and infect your body and cause sickness and disease. And the unfortunate thing is, we all believe that. I'd say 90% of the people in this room still believe that, because we all grew up in the same world where you were fine until you weren't, and then you took a drug to feel better. Sound about right? Yes. Because the medical community, they're based on that germ theory. Because they know there's tons of money to be made in pharmaceuticals, and if you're scared of germs, take their pills and the germs go away. The unfortunate thing is, Louis Pasteur on his deathbed revoked his theory and said, I was wrong. He said, I was wrong. He said it wasn't germs that are causing people to get sick. His final research showed that it was the decreased immune, the poor environment of the host that was allowing the sickness to happen. The unfortunate thing is the pharmaceutical companies had already taken hold on that germ theory and kind of brushed that to the wayside, because this just was so much easier just to do nothing and then take drugs. And there's a lot of money to be made, obviously. They run everything. So I like to look at this as a great learning opportunity. I want to teach you guys this. This is very, very important. So it all comes down to our environment. So imagine you're driving down the road. On the left side of the road, you see beautiful green pasture. And on the right side of the road, you see a garbage dump. Now, what is attracted to a garbage dump? Well, we have crows, we have rats, we have maggots, we have flies, vultures. right? So if I wanted to get rid of those things, what could we do? Well, I could sit there with a gun and shoot them, right? I mean, it sounds extreme, but I could just eliminate them, right? So I sat there and I shoot them all, they're all gone, they're all dead, and I go home. The next day I come back, what's back? They're all back, exactly. They're all back, they all came back. So we can just sit there and constantly just shoot them dead, and all it's going to do is allow more to come. What if instead of shooting them, which I know is extreme, what if I just took them and ushered them all across the street to the green pasture? And I said, I did my job, I got rid of them, they're good to go. I come back tomorrow down the street, where are they all going to be? Exactly, they're going to be right back over there. Why did they stay here? There was nothing for them to do. There was nothing for them to eat. There was nothing attracting them to that area because it was a pristine environment. What was attracting them was the garbage, the food, the nastiness. So what I want you to do is start thinking about this in terms of the germ theory. Are the crows and the rats and the flies, are they the problem? No. So we shouldn't focus on those outside looking things, those germs coming in and attacking us. What we should be thinking about is, how can we clean up our environment? I don't want you to be garbage dumps, okay? I want you to be green pastures. So we need to start thinking, what do we need to do? Instead of being a garbage dump, we need to start picking up the garbage. You start cleaning up your environment, you're going to be healthier, and these things will not be attracted to you. And the way we do that is we need to make sure our body's healing and functioning better. That's all we need to do. We need to focus on healing as close to 100% as possible. How do we do that? We look at what's called the 5 essentials of max living. Understanding that health comes from inside and outside. Eating right, exercising, detoxing, and of course making sure our nervous system is free of interference. We do not want to wait until we have a symptom before we start taking care of our health. That's the medical model. The medical model is wait until you have a symptom, then take medication for the symptom. So it's like sit at the garbage dump, wait for the crows to come, and then start shooting. And now you have to do that every day because they're going to keep coming. Or you could just clean up the environment by doing the things we all know we're supposed to be doing on a regular basis. And when you clean up the environment, those germs do not come to you. This is why, like I saw something about the coronavirus, that somebody was a carrier and got sick and was infected in seat like 42 on a bus, and one person next to him, or right behind him, also got the coronavirus, but like 2 other people in seats like 12 and 2 also got sick. Why did everybody in the bus get sick? Because it's not about the germ. It's about a compromised immune system. If your immune system is functioning, you can get a germ and your body will attack it and kill it and eliminate it. If you're immune compromised because you're eating poorly, not exercising, have a bad attitude, not having your nervous system function, not taking the right supplements, it's going to happen to you. So in these crazy times we're having right now, we need the 5 essentials more than any time before. And it's very easy to see who the people were that were already living this way versus the people who weren't. Because people ask me, what are you doing differently? And what do I say? Nothing really. What am I doing? Well, I'm still eating well, I'm still exercising regularly, I'm still getting adjusted regularly. I know that I'm not scared. Guys, if you want to come someplace and feel no fear, come here, please. All right, stop watching Facebook, stop watching the news. What's going on out there is pandemonium, it's panic, and it's all fear-based. Understand that you need to keep yourself strong and healthy, and you won't be fearful of this coronavirus. All right, so I'm not doing anything. The only thing I'm doing different is I've added more vitamin C to my regimen because of what I've learned recently about vitamin C and the coronavirus and how vitamin C can actually prevent it and kill it. So we are using more vitamin C. I have it in capsules, which is great, but liposomal vitamin C is what I've learned recently is a highly absorbable form of vitamin C. It's wrapped in fat. You only need to take about 2,000 milligrams a day, where the capsule is 3,000 to 5,000 milligrams a day. So that's something you should definitely start thinking about. Vitamin D, though, is the most important thing. This is what I've always told all my patients. If you want your immune system functioning, there's one vitamin that activates your immune system. It cannot function without it, and that is vitamin D. All right. The unfortunate thing is, yes, we can get it from the sun. It's free, yet we haven't seen the sun in a while. So therefore, we absolutely need to supplement. If we can get 5,000 international units a day into our body, it will help bolster our immune system. If you're already under the weather, I would suggest 10,000 a day. If you know your vitamin D levels are low, 10,000 a day for a month or two, and then come back down to 5,000. This chart shows that if you get your vitamin D levels up to normal, you're going to stop rickets, but I don't want normal. I don't care about rickets. I care about cancer and lymphoma and fractures and type 1 diabetes, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, colon cancer, ovarian cancer. And for you to prevent those things with your immune system, you need to get up over 60. And you do that with higher doses of vitamin D. So our vitamin D is fantastic. Not only is each capsule containing 5,000 international units, it also has 10 billion CFUs of probiotics, which improves the absorbability rate.